family farm because the Wilsons lived here until 6 months ago. The house is not occupied. The Civil War Trust has purchased this property. It's 44 acres from the Hagerstown Pike to the Smoketown Road to Cornfield Avenue. So this is all now owned by the Civil War Trust. We've been talking to them all week. They allowed us to come out here this morning. They allowed us to mow out of space so everybody's nice and comfortable, not in the high grass. They're a great partner of the battlefield, and this is an opportunity we've never had before, really, to get folks out here. In about a month or so, a lot of you folks have been here before. I see just a lot of very good friends and familiar faces. There used to be a barn right there. They've already taken that down. Maybe next month or so, the rest of the buildings will be raised. None of this existed at the time of the battle. I did have one question about the communication. Just forget all of that. There is none. I mean, it's the greatest, besides getting killed, it's the greatest challenge on the battlefield. Now, you do have staff officers, cavalry assigned to commanders that are going to run orders, but basically it's non-existent. So, like I said, I've never been in combat. I've never been in Civil War combat, but I do know that once it started, you're just pushing men to it. If you're a junior officer, your job is to push. That's really about it. The Iron Brigade is advancing in this field. We're pushing south. They're getting support from Phelps Brigade. 2nd U.S. Sharpshooters advancing south with them. And as they're pushing south, the Confederate lines are crumbling. Most of the men are retreating south and west, headed over towards the West Woods. It's just human nature, man. Let's get to the woods and get some cover. So the Confederate lines are crumbling out here and retreating that way as the Iron Brigade pushes south. Stonewall Jackson's in big trouble. The left flank is collapsing. Units are on the other side of the turnpike, pushing through the north edge of the North Woods. And you have your first Confederate counterattack of the morning. Jackson's division is starting to crumble on the other side. The two back brigades, Taliaferro and Stark, are going to lead a counterattack. William Stark will lead that, about 1,000 men. And they will attack from that direction coming towards you, heading this way against the Hagerstown Turnpike, in this direction. As the Iron Brigade is advancing south, Stark is counterattacking with 1,000 men from their front right, and they will turn to face this, heading west against the Hagerstown Turnpike. Right here where you stand, the 6th and the 2nd are driving in that direction against the turnpike. This is one of the most famous scenes of the Battle of Antietam, where you have most of the Louisiana soldiers attacking basically the width of the Hagerstown Turnpike with the Iron Brigade. William E. Stark is shot with 3 bullets. He's dead within the hour. He's taken back to Hollywood Cemetery in Richmond and buried next to his son, who'd been killed a few months earlier. The Confederate lines in the West Woods start to crumble even more. Jackson's in even more trouble, and that's when he needs help. He needs his reinforcements, and thankfully for Jackson, there are reinforcements waiting behind the Dunker Church. John Bell Hood's division. 2,000 soldiers, the toughest fighting veterans in the Southern Army, from Texas, Mississippi, and Alabama. Hood's men haven't eaten for 3 days. They got some flour that morning. They're trying to cook that up, and Jackson calls them into battle, and they're mad. Don't take chow from a soldier. That's never a good thing. And Hood's 2 brigades are going to come out from the church, cross over the turnpike, once again about 100 yards north, and get into this field and build their battle lines, move into battle line. 2 brigades, William T. Wofford and Evander Law. Wofford's brigade, known as the Texas Brigade, and Law to his right, pushing north. The Iron Brigade crumbles and starts falling back. And as they advance north, the way I like to describe this, if you can imagine barroom doors, double swinging barroom doors. Imagine Wofford's men swinging in that direction, up into the corn. The tip of that door is the 1st Texas Infantry, 211 soldiers. On the right, Law's brigade, swinging over towards the East Woods. These woodlots are critical as the staging and the rallying areas. Everybody's falling back to the woods, and that's where that attack is driving towards, the southeast corner of the East Woods or the cornfield and the east woods, driving in that direction. Here on our left, you have the 4th Texas, the Hampton Legion, the 18th Georgia, and the 1st Texas. The 5th Texas has been sent to the right to help out Law. The 1st Texas will go the farthest north, and they will pay for that. They will lose over 85% of their soldiers, 186 out of 211. The worst regimental casualty for the Civil War of any regiment. Henry Travis in the 4th Texas said, "There's been a heap of hard fighting. The Texas Brigade has got a brave name for fighting. It will not do any good if it gets into another fight, for it will be all killed up." James Polk in the 1st Texas, "The air was full of shot and shell, and we were in the open field with no protection. It seemed impossible for a rat to live in such a place. The dead and dying were in every direction. I didn't take time to load my gun. There were plenty of loaded guns lying around on the ground from the dead and wounded men. And they were not all Confederates. The blue and the gray were all mixed up." Just as an example of what these numbers mean, over 80%. In one company, Company E of the 1st Texas, there were 4 brothers. 4 brothers in Company E. Lieutenant Clinton Perry, killed. His brother, H.E. Perry, killed. Eugene Perry, wounded. George Perry, seriously wounded. 4 brothers in one company in the 1st Texas, all of them casualties in the 30 minutes of combat on this field. Now, for the first time, because of the generosity of the trust, we are able to follow Evander Law's advance as it drives towards the east woods. And that's what we're going to do now.